When you were a child, a single summer felt like it lasted forever. Now, whole years seem to vanish in a blink. Time feels like it is speeding up. And it is not just your imagination. Scientists have measured this strange, quiet acceleration. But here is the secret. Time itself has not changed at all. A second is still a second. What changed is the clock inside your head. Today, we are going to find out why the years keep shrinking, and the most hopeful part, how you might just slow them back down. This is why time speeds up as you get older. First, this feeling is real, and it is almost universal. Ask people of any age, and most will tell you the same thing. Time goes faster than it used to. Scientists surveyed hundreds of people, from teenagers to those in their 90s. The sense that time is accelerating grew stronger with age. But here is an honest surprise. The effect, when measured, is gentler than the myth. Almost everyone, young or old, feels time flying. Where it shows up most is in the long view. Ask about the last week, and young and old agree. But ask about the last 10 years, and older people feel them race by. And it happens everywhere, in every country studied. This shrinking of time is not cultural. It seems to be part of being human. Think of a single school summer. It seemed to stretch on forever, an endless ocean of long golden days. The same 6 weeks now would be gone before you noticed. That gap between how time felt then and how it feels now is one of the quiet mysteries of being alive. And it has several answers, each true in its own way. So the feeling is real. The question is why? And the answers reveal something deep about how your mind builds time itself. The oldest explanation is also the simplest, and it is just a matter of fractions. To a 5-year-old, 1 year is a huge chunk of life. It is 1/5 of everything they have ever lived, a whole 20%. But to a 50-year-old, that same year is just 1/50th of their life, a tiny 2% sliver, 10 times smaller. So each passing year is measured against a longer and longer life. And against all those years, a new one feels smaller and shorter. It is like dropping the same cup of water into a bigger and bigger bucket. The water never changes, but against all that has come before, it makes a smaller and smaller splash. By this logic, the years from 5 to 15 may hold as much felt life as all the decades that follow. Your childhood was, in feeling, half your life. A philosopher suggested this idea over 100 years ago, and it has a strange, dizzying conclusion. If we feel time by proportion, then the subjective middle of your life, the halfway point of felt experience, arrives shockingly early, perhaps before you even turn 20. It is an elegant idea, but it is not the whole story. It describes the shape of the feeling without explaining what your brain is actually doing. So here is the deeper answer, and it is beautiful. Your brain does not measure the past in seconds. It measures it in memories. When you look back on a stretch of time, you judge how long it was by how many new memories you made. More memories, the longer it felt. And childhood is overflowing with new memories. Everything is a first. Your first day of school, first friend, first time you rode a bike, first taste of the sea. Those years are so packed with novelty that, looking back, they feel enormous, stretched and full and slow. In fact, when older people recall their lives, their memories cluster in their teens and 20s, a golden window of firsts that shines brightest of all. But then adult life settles into routine, the same commute, the same desk, the same week on repeat. And routine makes almost no new memories. So when you look back on a year of routine, there's almost nothing to count. The whole year collapses into a blur and feels like it lasted days.
There's a perfect example. A great holiday flies by while you live it, but later, packed with new sights, it feels long in your memory. Meanwhile, a dull week drags slowly as you live it, but vanishes instantly in memory, leaving nothing behind to remember. Your brain is brilliantly efficient. When a day is just like yesterday, it does not bother storing it again. It simply files it under same as before. 20 identical Mondays do not become 20 memories. They blur into one. And so a whole season of routine can almost disappear. That is why the first time you do anything feels vivid and slow, and the 100th time feels like nothing at all. So the cruel trick of growing up is this. The more your life repeats, the faster it seems to disappear behind you. There may be an even deeper reason, hidden in the speed of your brain itself.
One scientist proposes that the young brain processes more mental images per second. It captures the world in finer, faster detail. As you age, that processing slows. Your brain takes in fewer images in the same span of time, so the outside clock seems to race ahead. Like a camera filming fewer frames. With fewer frames per second, the same hour holds less, and so it feels like it passed in an instant. As a child, your heart beat faster, your body ran hotter, your mind raced. Everything inside you moved quicker, and so the world seemed to move slower. There is a clue in your own body. When you have a high fever and your body runs hot and fast, minutes can feel like they crawl. The faster your inner clock, the slower the world. A child is, in a sense, always running a little hot. Their fast, fresh, hungry brain soaks up the world and stretches every hour wide. As the brain ages and slows, the world appears to speed up to match, like a film projector running slower while life keeps playing at full speed. Now, this idea is debated. Nobody has truly measured the frame rate of a mind, so hold it gently as a fascinating possibility, not a proven fact. And your sense of time bends with your feelings, sometimes in shocking ways. In one daring experiment, scientists dropped volunteers from a great height into a safety net in genuine terror. Afterward, everyone swore the fall felt much longer than it really was, as if in the terror they had seen time slow down. But scientists tested it cleverly, and the truth is, you do not actually see in slow motion during fear. Your perception runs at normal speed. What happens is that fear burns the moment into memory in extraordinary detail. And later, all that dense memory tricks you into thinking it lasted longer. It is the same secret again. A moment dense with memory always feels longer in the looking back. Boredom warps it the other way. With nothing to fill your mind, you watch the clock, and every empty second drags painfully slow. And joy does the opposite. When you are lost in something you love, your attention leaves the clock entirely, and hours vanish in what feels like minutes. Time flies when you are having fun, the saying goes, and it is literally true. Joy steals your attention away from time itself. So here is the great paradox of time. The moments that fly by fastest in the living are often the ones that feel longest when you look back. And the empty hours that crawl by slowest leave the least behind, vanishing the moment they end. Your mind keeps two clocks, one ticking now in the moment, and another counting backward through memory, and they almost never agree. So if routine is the thief that steals your years, then here is the hopeful truth. You can steal them back. Because your brain measures time by memories, the secret is simple. Fill your life with new ones. Make more firsts. Break the routine. Take a different route home. Try a food you have never tasted. Say yes to the thing that scares you a little. Each new experience is a fresh marker your brain plants in time. Plant enough of them,
and a single year fills with landmarks instead of blurring into one.
It is why the most ordinary trip somewhere new can stay with you for life, while 1,000 identical workdays leave no trace at all. You do not need to change your whole life. Even small novelties, a new song, a new face, a new street, gently slow the rush of time. Travel somewhere new, and a single week can feel like a month, because every hour is packed with novelty your brain wants to remember. Learn something new at any age. The reason the young feel time slowly is that they are always learning. You can choose to never stop. And simply pay attention. When you truly notice this moment, the taste of your coffee, the light through the window, you stretch the present open and time slows down. People who practice this deeply through meditation often report that time feels slower and fuller for them, less rushed, more spacious. It even helps to keep your mind and body young. Movement, learning, and connection keep your brain sharp, and a sharper brain holds on to more of your days. None of this stops the years from passing, but it changes what they are made of. And years made of rich, noticed moments simply feel like more. You cannot stop the clock on the wall, but you can decide how much living you pour into each year. And a full year always feels like more. Here is the strangest truth of all. You have no organ for time, no eye, no ear that senses it. Your brain builds the feeling of time entirely from within. That is why it is so easy to bend. Fear stretches it, boredom drags it, joy melts it, and age quietly shrinks it. Time is not something that happens to you. In a real way, it is something your mind makes.
So the years are not really speeding up. You are just filling them with less that is new, and so your brain has less to hold on to. But that means the eternal summers of childhood are not gone forever. They were never about being young. They were about being amazed. Stay curious. Keep finding firsts, and you can give yourself, at any age, the gift of a long, full, unforgettable year. If this gave you something to think about, stay curious with me. There is so much more strange and beautiful science to explore. I will see you in the next one.